School has let out, summer has started, so you know what that means. It's time to hit the beach.
Oh, I got a live one here.
It was perfect timing that I got all three of these. Now again, you should know me by now. If I was going to get a statue that had variants, I was going to get all the variants. Now there's nothing really too special about the exclusives to these statues. The only thing that makes them exclusive is these art prints. So if you're trying to get these in the aftermarket and you want the quote-unquote exclusive, I wouldn't bother messing with it unless you really want these damn art prints. But here's the white one, and they are all the same. Here's a green one, and here is the red one. Again, guys, this is just me. You do whatever the hell you want, but if you're trying to get the exclusive of these, just understand all it is that damn art print. But now it's time for a small rant. So when PCS first introduced this line, I was not really impressed by them until the Chun Li one came out. Yeah, that was a day one pre-order for me. Now, when I got the Chun Li, each one of those was about that $400 range. A couple of years have passed and we finally got the Cammy. Now, did I pull the trigger on Cammy just because it's Cammy? Not necessarily, no. I put the trigger because I definitely do like the sculpt, I like the pose, I like the look. But I hesitated to pull the trigger and I actually gave it some time. This was not a day one pre-order for me for two reasons. One, the price. These were about $600 something each. Now, I don't mind paying top dollar for a statue if I personally feel it's worth it. Do I feel that these statues are worth that price range? Not necessarily, but I still put the trigger on them. Reason being is because I feel that it's very simplistic. The base is very simple. There's nothing really too dynamic. It does its job. It definitely provides the background for what's going on, character being at a beach. But with that said, I would expect that the more simplified a base is or a statue is, the cheaper it should be. And if you look at the Chun Li statue, honestly, I think the engineering for that statue was more dynamic and complex than this one. So when I'm thinking about dropping $600 on a statue, I'm expecting that thing to be very intricate and very dynamic. And as we can see with these, not the case at all. Not disappointed with them, but I still feel that hurt, that pain right here as far as how much I paid for these. My second gripe is when I think of Cammy, this is the one look, or I should say the one accessory that I have never been a fan of, this version of her hat. I have never liked this version of Cammy with this hat. I always liked the original kind of with that beret hat. I wish they would have made her with that hat. But again, it wasn't so much of a deal breaker for me, not enough to really for me to say, no, I'm not gonna get it. Because overall, I do like the statues and that's just something that I can accept, deal with, and put in my display. But that's my rant. Let's get to the review. So I had to appreciate that the base was real simple. So the base is just this obviously round circular base, Cammy stepping into the water. So we do see the colors, the ocean, and we do see a little bit of metallic paint jobs here in the white, the sea foam, which we do see color variation from where the water is hitting the sand, a little bit of dark to show that wetness. And then we have the dry sand right here behind her. And in the back, we do see pieces of grass, some foliage right here, and these pieces are actually plastic. The only pieces that actually come apart are these green, brown, I don't even know what to call them. There's only 3 of them, so you just put them 1, 2, 3. That's one thing about this statue that kind of was a little bit frustrating. There is no instructions, but I can see that because it's a very simple statue to put together. So everything about these 3 statues is exactly the same, except the color of the bikini she's wearing. Obviously, without having to say anything, we have red, green, and white. At first glance, you would think that this one is kind of different or offset than the other 2. What I mean by that, me personally, when I first saw these in photos, I thought it was a green attire with a black bikini. And when I saw the other 2, I was thinking, you know, that would have been an awesome idea to put her in like her white attire, her white kind of tactical gear with a different color bikini underneath. But no, it's actually just a subtle darker shade on each one. So this green, no, it is not green on black. It is actually a light, somewhat lime green, regular green on top of a very dark hunter green. Now with the red one over here, as we can see, the straps are more like of a burgundy reddish color leather, highlighted with red around her belt. And the bikini herself is more like of a brighter blood red. And same thing with the white one. So we have her tactical gear. It is a gray with a lighter gray on top of a white bikini. But I'll just talk about this one because it applies to the other two. Cammy is wearing this tactical belt around her bikini, obviously with multiple pockets, little buttons on top of them, and a strap on the back pocket here. We can only guess what she's holding, but her being special forces, I would assume maybe some kind of ammo, weapons, things of that nature. And the same thing applies for her top here. She is wearing some kind of tactical top on top of the bikini with straps, buckles, those being grayed out to kind of show those where they kind of snap together, plug in. And on her shoulder pads, we can see those are a little bit thicker, obviously, because she's gonna be holding some kind of weaponry, but not in this case. And she is wearing her signature red, thick metal plated gloves here. And she's grasping her two ponytails, braided ponytails, and pulling them back. Now the portrait is very muted. It doesn't really show any kind of facial expression at all. It would have been cool, it would have been nice if they would have had her maybe smirking, smiling, something of that nature. But she does have her two signature bangs here floating right in front of her face. Thank God those were not also detachable. I'm glad that they actually were part of the statue. And Cammy herself is one entire piece. The only pieces that are not part of it are her two ponytails right here at the end. Now, because it did not have any instructions, I wasn't really sure which one goes where. And even looking at how the slots, how the pegs are shaped, it's still very hard to figure out, okay, which one goes where, not only which one goes on what side, but how does it go? So if you look closely, there are actually somewhat subtle differences the way I plugged them into each one. And depending on how you put it in, you just have to be very careful because some of them fit snugger than the other. Again, I'm not really sure if I did it the right way, which ones are right, which ones are not. I just kind of took the best guesses I could. Quick example, on this one right here in front, I have her two ponytails kind of flaying straight up. This one over here, they're kind of flowing backwards. And throughout her body, she does have the camouflage. On these two, she has a green camouflage. And this one, she has somewhat of a dark brown camouflage. I wish they would have done that for the red one, maybe put a different color, because on the green one, yes, it is a lime green, and of course it goes with her, it's who she is. But this one, I'm not really feeling that it should have been a green, maybe a red or a different color to kind of make her really pop, because as we can see with this one especially, this one really does pop. And just referencing back to the portrait here, we can see her blue eyes, and she does have a very, very light scar going across her face right here on her cheek. So no, I will not be displaying all three of these up at once. I will be rotating them, but based on all three of them, if I had to take a pick which one's my favorite one, I'd probably have to say the white one. Reason being is because just her colors and especially that camouflage just makes her pop a lot. But that's my overall review on Cammy here, guys. Overpriced, definitely. I'm not going to lie about that, but not disappointed in it. Kind of subtle things that kind of disappointed me, but nothing major where I'm just like total bust. If I had to rank it from 1 to 10, I would give it a solid 8. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think. So leave your comments down below. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so. And as always, have a happy summer, and Coloca makes you happy.